Hey everybody, how's it going? Extreme Trends here, and welcome to 10 Lies We Believe from Movies. The movies are hardly famed for being realistic. James Bond has survived more gunshots and explosions than there is ammunition in the world. Harry Potter has managed to run through a brick wall at a train station, and Toy Story taught us that our toys lead their own separate lives. Okay, so that's some of the extreme examples of the far-fetched, but there are times when it is actually believable. Our expectations of real life are heightened when we read based on a true story before the movie starts. But are they? Or are the movies just glamming it up for all of us? So I decided to do a little bit investigating to see if the lies we believe from movies are actually true. Number 10. The tough guy takes out the grenade and pulls the pin out with his teeth, then tosses it to kill a bunch of bad guys. This is a common trope in action flicks and war films. In reality, grenade pins are designed to be hard to pull so they won't be pulled accidentally. Attempting to pull them out with your teeth will result in some painful and serious dental damage, with your teeth possibly falling out. Straightening the pin in advance to make it easier to pull is certainly possible and easily to accomplish one-handed, but it generally increases the risk of mass casualty. Maybe the heroes in those movies have teeth-friendly grenades. Who knows? Number 9. Stories about criminals incapacitating victims with chloroform has been around almost as long as the chemical was used as an anesthetic. However, in reality, no one has ever proven that it has been successfully used to incapacitate someone during a non-lethal criminal activity, at least not without the use of another drug like alcohol. It just doesn't work like it does in the movies. It takes at least 5 minutes of inhaling chloroform fumes to render someone unconscious. After that, a continuous supply must be inhaled by the victim in order for them to stay under. Failure to keep the chin supported will result in the victim's tongue blocking their airways and suffocating them. So the whole notion of sticking a rag in someone's mouth, throwing them in a trunk and waiting for them to wake up in a few hours is just not going to happen. Number 8. Mice like cheese. So if you have a mouse in your home and you try to trap it with an old-fashioned but still effective mouse trap baited with cheese, it will fail. You just wasted a delicious piece of cheese and the mouse trap didn't yield any results. Well, the problem is you watched too much Tom and Jerry growing up. I'll have to disappoint you, but mice don't actually like cheese at all, and they're even disgusted eating certain types due to their excellent sense of smell that permits them to identify repulsive smells given by some kinds of cheese. One popular theory, which hasn't been discussed scientifically, goes that mice were constantly being discovered in medieval cupboards eating the household cheese stash, but this would have been because it was the only food they could get to. The meat would be hanging on hooks and salted, and grains would be stored in jars. For the mice, it was cheese or starvation. So it's like that one time that one cop probably got caught eating a donut 100 years ago on the job and forever cemented the dietary reputation of an entire profession. Number 7. Silencers make all guns completely quiet. Name any movie when a killer is creeping into a house and then moves in on their victim to quietly kill them. The gun is fired, but it's just a quick ping sound, so it does not disturb anyone else. Itty-bitty handguns aren't the only things you can silence. Giant pump shotguns can even be fitted with a special silencer that renders them inaudible in quiet suburban neighborhoods. Also, while silencers look all slick and expensive and fancy, Hollywood says pretty much any long hollow tube will do the job. Grab a 2-liter bottle, stuff it with stocks, and you can be just as dangerous as James Bond in GoldenEye. However, with that being said, exploding gunpowder is very loud. In fact, it is as loud as a jet engine, so a little metal tube won't do a whole lot to stop that. This is what a suppressed handgun actually sounds like. Let me sum it up, it sounds exactly like a handgun. It does not make a soft put sound that you could mistake for a kitten landing on a pillow. An unsilenced gunshot is around 140 to 160 decibels. That is in the range that hearing it once can permanently damage your ears. A silencer can get that all the way down to around 120 or 130 decibels, aka the sound of a jackhammer. Still loud enough to cause physical pain if it's close enough to you. So a silencer really just makes a large gun sound a lot smaller. If you're James Bond and you're sneaking up into an enemy's compound with a silenced pistol, you're basically hoping that the guards will decide your gun is too small and wimpy to be a serious threat and will leave you be. So why the hell do silencers even exist? Well, if you're in an outdoor noisy environment, they can actually make quite a bit of difference. Specifically, they make it really hard to tell where exactly the shot is coming from or how far away it is. Number 6. The good guys receive a call from the kidnapper, mad bomber, or a drug lord. They need to string him along for 60 seconds to trace the call, but he's wise to their time constraints and hangs up just short of the 1-minute mark. While it may have made Jack Bauer sweat bullets on 21, the old 60-second rule is strictly firing blanks today. Back in the bell-bottom, pre-digital 1970s, telephone switchboards required operators to manually connect circuits, leaving the cops to cool their heels for 10 to 20 minutes while Mabel pinpointed the caller's location. Now in the digital age, it's immediate. As soon as the call is placed, it can be tracked and traced to where it is being originated. So the 60-second rule is just a Hollywood thing. Number 5, an asteroid belt is dense and crowded. We've all seen it, a spacecraft trying to negate an asteroid belt while being bombarded by constant waves of huge rocks. In reality though, a collision like this is extremely unlikely. There are more than 100,000 asteroids larger than 1 kilometer in diameter, but these objects are distributed within the huge volume of the asteroid belt. Unlike the movies like Star Wars and Star Trek, the space in between the rocks is actually several million kilometers, which means even the nearest 1 kilometer asteroid would likely be too faint to be visible without the telescope. In reality, an average 1 kilometer asteroid suffers one collision every few billion years. So don't worry, because astronauts are sleeping well tonight. Number 4. Most of the myths from this list are harmless, but this one can literally mean the difference between life and death. According to movies, you must wait 24 hours before reporting a missing person. That is just not true. Police officers stress the importance of reporting an unexplained absence as quickly as possible, especially if violence or suspicious circumstances are involved. The first 12 to 24 hours are the most critical in an active missing person investigation. The longer it takes for a case to be reported and becomes an investigation, the less likely a positive outcome will occur. The myth is so widely believed that government organizations have made it a priority to educate the public not only in the United States, but all over the world. Hopefully none of you will ever experience something like this, but it's definitely a good thing to know. Number 3, eating Spanish gives you Popeye strength. As a kid, we always believed that by eating lots of spinach, we would be able to be as strong as Popeye, but that's hardly possible. Just eating spinach is not going to make anyone as strong as the cartoon character Popeye. If it did, bodybuilders and athletics would be popping tins of spinach as often as Popeye did in his cartoons. Come to think of it, Bluto would be eating spinach too. Researchers actually discovered a steroid chemical in spinach which ramps up the manufacture of muscle protein. But before you rush out to stock up on the leafy green, be warned, because you will need a wheelbarrow full to see a substantial effect. Unfortunately, you would need to eat more than a kilogram of spinach every single day to gain equivalent amounts of the steroid. So while spinach isn't going to make you instantly and easily grow muscles like Popeye, it will give you beneficial nutritions like iron, magnesium, vitamin C, vitamin B9, and additional antioxidants. Number 2 is probably the coolest one to see in the movies. This one is about shooting 2 guns at the same time. It's already incredibly difficult to shoot a pistol accurately one-handed. There just isn't enough stability with one hand, let alone with a pistol in your other hand. And how are you supposed to aim with them? The pistol you aren't aiming with will be pretty much just for show, because you sure as hell not gonna hit anything. It looks awesome in the movies, but that's where it should stay. You might learn to shoot accurately with 2 hands, 2 guns, but not simultaneously. Not only that, but there is often a common theme in movies of criminals breaking into areas by shooting the locks off of the doors. But that is once again a complete lie. Despite popular belief, but a gunshot from a pistol is just not going to cut through a solid padlock. In reality, the bullet will just bounce off the lock and hardly cause a dent. Regardless of the truth, we surely enjoy seeing it over and over again in some of our favorite action movies. Number 1. Roadrunner is faster than Coyote. Anyone who's seen many of the Looney Tunes cartoons featuring Wile E. Coyote and the Roadrunner knows the formula. Since the Roadrunner is too fast for him, the Coyote is forced to come up with a series of schemes that utilize various contraptions in order to level the playing field. This usually involves Wile E. strapping himself to some sort of explosive and then either falling off a cliff or getting crushed by giant rocks. But how would this match play out in the real world? Can a Roadrunner really run out a Coyote? Prepare to be disappointed because your whole childhood has been a complete lie. Well, even though a Roadrunner can reach speeds of up to 20 miles per hour, a Coyote can easily double that, reaching speeds of up to 43 miles per hour. But don't pack away those explosives just yet. Unlike their cartoon counterparts, real Roadrunners rarely run in a straight line when being chased and are more likely to zigzag under various ground cover to stay hidden. Roadrunners also have one other clear advantage over Coyotes: they can fly. So break out the Batsuit, Wile E, because you're not going to catch that furry friend anytime soon. It's fair to say, as misleading as these myths can be, it makes the movies a lot more exciting. So that has been the top 10 lies we have always believed from movies. Have any favorites we missed? Let us know in the comment section down below. Also, if you did enjoy the video or found it interesting, then make sure to go check out one of our other videos by clicking a video on screen now. Before you do that though, as always, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you do not miss a single upload. But anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I'll speak to you in the next video. Number 10. The tough guy takes out the grenade and pulls the pin out with his teeth, then tosses it to kill a bunch of bad guys. This is a common trope in action flicks and war films. In reality, grenade pins are designed to be hard to pull, so they won't be pulled or heighted when we read based on a true story before the movie starts. But are they? Or are the movies just glamming it up for all of us? So I decided to do a little bit of investigating to see if the lies we believe from movies are actually true. Accidentally. Attempting to pull them out with your teeth will result in some painful and serious dental damage, with your teeth possibly falling out. Straightening the pin in advance to make it easier to pull is certainly possible and easily accomplished one-handed. Hey everybody, how's it going? Extreme Trends here, and welcome to 10 lies we believe from movies. The movies are hardly famed for being realistic. James Bond has survived more gunshots and explosions than there is ammunition in the world. Harry Potter has managed to run through a brick wall at a train station, and Toy Story taught us that our toys lead their own separate lives. Okay, so that's some of the extreme examples of the far-fetched, but there are times when it is actually believable. Our expectations of real life